You are right up my street.
Oh, you can't make me choose.
Igo by Toyota sponsors T4.
Fuck me, Lee Ryan's 13.
I remember we couldn't remember the word for table.
This is Your Welcome America presents Chasing the Saturdays, episode 6.
In our ongoing mission to translate British pop culture for America, we're celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the reality show that follows British-Irish group The Saturdays as they try to crack America. Why are you laughing?
Just because I always laugh at that incredibly clunky line that you wrote for yourself.
I know, it's so long.
This episode truly does have it all. Touching down at Heathrow, catching Addie Lee cabs, and many new build brick homes.
I am Ben.
I am Fraser.
Fraser like razor.
And this is Chasing the Saturdays. Woo!
Woo!
You know that there's magic in this city. Feels like being somebody else's. I don't know the way to go, and it doesn't matter. Feels like being somebody else's life.
Hashtag home sweet sats.
Oh, yes. I did a little research just before we got started because I was thinking, where are the gals from? And I wanted to look up where they're all from, where they all kind of grew up. Because I was thinking,
Tipperary.
Is London, their actual kind of home base? So obviously Una, we already know, grew up in County Tipperary.
Tipperary.
Frankie was born and raised in Upminster, Essex. End of the district line, Upminster?
Don't remember.
Final stop of the district line, I believe, is Upminster, all the way in Essex. Rochelle's from Barking, also on the on the district line, and that kind of London-Essex border where things start to blur.
Is that how they met, do you think?
Yeah, definitely, on the metro. Molly, born in Wandsworth, but most importantly, clearly grew up in Surbiton in Surrey. I'm sorry, but Molly is such a Surrey girl, isn't she?
Born in Wandsworth, though, that's pretty fun.
Yeah, moved to Surbiton, Surrey. Vanessa, unexpected, born in Yeovil, Somerset, but I think I must have done a move to London at some point in her life.
Yeah.
Now, this led me to look at Vanessa's Wikipedia page. I found something so shocking that I'm actually going to send you this link and I need you to open it and I'm going to give you like a time code to go to.
You've really done some research
I know,
for
I've
this
done
episode.
more than I normally do.
Is that because you were saying last week's episode we sounded really downbeat and it lasted maybe like 15 minutes long?
Yeah,
because it was such a bad episode.
We basically just complained about how much we hated it and then it was done.
Wow.
Okay, so I just shared with Ben something I found on her Wikipedia page that Vanessa appeared on a children's version of Stars in Their Eyes, hosted by Kat Deely, back in, what year was it? 2003. And she performed as Beyonce.
But what did she perform?
And she said this is her first solo song and then performed Work It Out from the Austin Powers soundtrack and Not Crazy in Love. And she's 13 at the time, and they made the effort to change the lyrics to the less racy lyrics, but they also put her in an incredibly short mini dress and an afro wig, which I think is also not acceptable. But yeah, Vanessa was on Children's Stars in Their Eyes. Thoughts, feelings, feedback?
Well, as you pointed out, I loved it when she came out in her, her normal Vanessa drag, and Kat Deely said that she looked like Pocahontas.
Yeah, that was a little troubling.
And then Kat proceeded to say, "Oh, well, you like Christina Aguilera. What would you change about her?" "Yeah, her hair's a bit ratty, isn't it, Vanessa?" And then said,
She needs to cover up.
"Yeah, don't you think she also needs to cover up?" Yeah, it's just also judgy.
A very strange element of Stars in Their Eyes that I didn't remember. Now, I will say I did scrub through the rest of the episode, and it was a wild ride. There was there was basically Vanessa and this guy that did Craig David that were
Oh, some really great painted on face.
They drew a beard on a 13-year-old, and he was really, really good as well. Yeah. And then these other, I know this was in the early 2000s, but these other 3 teenagers performed as incredibly old people. It was so weird. There was these 2 performers I had to look up. One called Crystal Gale. She's famous for having really long hair. And Connie Francis. And the only reason I know the name Connie Francis is because, do you remember in The Craft when they get all that money from the settlement and they go to their new penthouse that Nancy lives in, and her mum has that jukebox that only plays Connie Francis music?
Oh, yes.
That's literally the only connection. So it's like a woman that sings from the 50s. So all these teenagers were doing like songs from the 50s. And this one girl came on and she was like maybe 17, maybe a little too old to be doing Stars in Their Eyes Kids. And she performed Xanadu by Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, that's fun.
But Connie Francis won the episode. So
Xanadu, Xanadu, Xanadu.
I love Xanadu.
So we've managed to end up at Xanadu. We haven't even started episode 6 of Chasing the Sats.
I just urge people, run, don't walk to Vanessa's appearance on Children's Stars in Their Eyes if you really want to have your mind blown apart. Anyway.
Should we land in Heathrow?
Let's touch down in... Plane touchdown in Heathrow.
So the music goes, pretty soon I'll be coming home, 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 home. And then we get shots of Piccadilly Circus. There's a shot of like a market stall with a t-shirt that says, I love London. Those T's aren't a thing. And then there's a shot of the 139 bus, which I looked up.
Yes.
The 139 goes from Golders Green Station to Waterloo.
Oh, lovely. A lovely North London. That really takes you right down.
And it goes right the way through Oxford Street and everything. All the sights.
You never want to get on a bus that goes down Oxford Street.
Oh.
You're quicker walking. You're quicker walking.
No, when you get to Oxford Street, just get off.
Just get off. If you're at Bond Street and you want to get off at Tottenham Court Road, it's only 2 or 3 tube stops, but you're better off just walking. Don't get a bus, don't get the tube,
Yeah.
takes too long. So they touch down in Heathrow, and we see them in arrivals. No paparazzi. Interesting that, isn't it? They've been followed around Los Angeles by paparazzi, but no paparazzi in Heathrow. Is that a rule of Heathrow, or is that just Peter Lorraine didn't get enough petty cash to do?
Oh, yeah, the paparazzi
paps?
aren't allowed in.
Well, more fool me, eh?
Yeah. Vanessa is tired and pushing an airport trolley with sunglasses on.
Well, it's the last we see of her this episode.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to get some Vanessa time in at the top of this.
Well, she also does like a bit at the top. She's like, the Sats are coming home, watch out.
Yeah.
We see her in this. She wheels off with her trolley.
Maybe it's because she was in Somerset.
Maybe.
They didn't want to send a crew out to Somerset just in case it wasn't dynamic enough.
Yeah.
Frankie says, I'm happy to see Wayne. And then I was like, oh, that's actually her current husband still, isn't it? It's Wayne
think
Bridge,
so.
the footballer. But just hearing his name Wayne by itself, Wayne is a crazy name.
And Wayne's also got dogs as well.
2 pugs, which I also didn't think were allowed in Heathrow.
Yeah.
And this isn't pre 9/11. Those dogs are a danger. She scoops up 2 pugs wearing lime green trousers. Those trousers look too tight for a transatlantic
who's
flight.
wearing, oh, she's wearing the trousers.
Yeah,
I thought
not
you were saying the pugs. Okay.
That would have been great.
I got very confused here because there's a lot of blurred out fan faces.
Yeah.
So then I wrote, they must be real. And then I wrote, but why wouldn't you just get the releases then?
Yeah,
The
maybe there was
release
just too
forms.
many of them. Maybe there wasn't enough. There weren't enough runners and researchers to get everyone's details. And they were so busy trying to track what was going on with the gals, they just didn't have time.
They were too busy calling the Addison Lee people carriers that were making their way to the terminal.
Molly tells a huge lie in
What's
an interview.
that?
She says, "I love having the fans meet us at the airport. It's like extended family meeting us when we come home." Don't shut up. What a lie. Although I suppose they are nice enough to actually think that, aren't they?
Yeah, they probably do. And also, at their peak, the Saturdays probably had like 7 core fans
Right,
that
you're
went
right.
to everything. That a bit, oh, hi, Tim.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it was a gay guy.
Yeah.
A gay
Hi-
15-year-old.
Hi, gay Tim.
Hi, it's gay Tim. Oh, no, don't say he's gay. He doesn't know he is yet.
Oh, we feel so safe around Tim. I don't know what it is. Feel so unthreatened. It's because he's gay. Anyway, what?
There's a ragtag crew waiting at Heathrow. At one point, we get a message. Not a message. We get like a name thing that comes up, and it's Emma, tour manager's wife. I was like, what? So Una's chatting away to Emma, the tour manager's wife, who's waiting.
Oh.
So she must be waiting for the tour manager to arrive in Heathrow as well.
Okay, that's helpful because I just wrote Una speaking to a random about Ben's injury.
Yeah,
I didn't even see that.
Emma, the
thing.
tour manager's wife,
Right.
very like.
She's like, yeah, I mean, he's hurt his leg. Oh, she hurt his leg. Yeah, he's hurt his leg. But what, is his leg hurt? Yeah, he's done something to his leg. I've
We'll
got
hear
to go, but I'm going to still talk about his leg.
We'll hear that a lot in this episode. Yeah, I thought this scene was very casual. Like the gals just kind of like. It was almost as if Heathrow like arrivals was their own personal like casual lounge. Everyone was just like, oh hi, yeah, just like I was like, we need a sense of urgency here. Like these are famous people. They should just be hanging around outside WH Smith talking to Emma, the tour manager.
Una's got to get home to Ben because he's injured his leg. And she's just like, I'm just going to talk to you about this for too long.
And then she just go, I've got to get going. Yeah, the main thing to note here is Una is worried. We actually got like footage of Ben getting injured. in the like the rugby
multiple
match.
shots.
Yeah.
Multiple shots of that.
That felt pointed to me. That felt like maybe like the makers of the show didn't like Ben, and they were like, let's just show like 5 different angles of him getting injured. Or I guess for the E execs, they were like, oh my god, an injury that we can get the licensed material from. How exciting!
Some actual real drama.
Yeah.
Opening credits, and then
There's magic in this city. Feels like
it's
some kind of London town.
town.
Gonna catch a black cab to see the Queen. At the time she was alive.
The
In Buckingham
139
Palace.
bus to Golders Green.
Well, there's not magic in Una's brick house, is there?
Well, Addison Lee drops off Una at
She slides that sliding Addison. There's so many of those sliding doors in this episode, opening and closing.
sliding
doors.
So, who greets them?
So she goes into the back garden.
Yeah.
Not the backyard, I'll have you know, because she's back in British soil. Ben's just laying out on a blanket with little baby girl Aoife Bell
On a rug.
on a rug in the garden.
There's chat then about he's got crutches, he's wearing a boot, he needs multiple scans. He then says, and I wrote this down exactly, I think it's worse than it is actually. I was awake most of the night with it. It's like, oh, okay.
Playing for some sympathy. Now,
I think it's worse than it is
that
actually.
doesn't make
That doesn't
any
even make sense.
Now, I have been saying this every single episode. We've been really down on Ben, but every episode I do mention that I find him very attractive, and I have to really, like, fully just, like, we need to just discuss it for just a split second.
No, can we
He looked good.
Can we discuss it when we get to the physio appointment?
Oh, yeah, of course we
Because
can.
because I made notes there.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Because we just get to see more of him there.
Okay. That's really... We'll objectify him when he's getting physical therapy. okay.
Exactly.
There was a great classic Una line reading in this scene where she's kind of asking what's going on with the injury. She says, what's the story with this then for you? Your rugby and your walking. Like, whoa, okay, Una, really throw out absolutely everything that this is going to affect.
Una seems almost nervous around Ben.
She does, yeah. It's tough. And then we just end this. Then did you notice during this scene the music was like completely wild? It was like a film score. It was almost like we were watching, I don't know, The Notebook. Like it was a full like swelling
was it like
violin.
Well, they're on a rug in the garden.
Completely. It was really strange. Anyway, where should we go next?
Well, I'm gonna pop on my Birkin. I'm gonna put my Birkin bag just at the crease of my elbow pit.
Lovely.
And we're gonna go for a fragrance meeting.
Where is that going to be?
It's
Is it on Dover Street?
where is it?
I paused in our flashes. I paused on the 189 bus that we saw this time.
Okay.
A pair of very squat, brown scrunched boots, the very Saturday's pixie scrunch boot, crossing a street, and a real flash of Dover Street before we landed at Aluminum Fragrances. Aluminum. Not aluminium or aluminum.
And there's a man
Aluminum.
guiding them through aluminum fragrances, and he says it's the home of the most luxurious fragrances in the world.
I beg to differ.
Now, one of them at this point says some very carefully chosen words. They say, we're testing out a new fragrance now. We're testing out a new fragrance. What does that mean?
Did you find hide nor hair of this fragrance? Because I didn't.
I couldn't find it anywhere.
I couldn't find a whiff or a waff of it.
We're testing out a new fragrance. Is that like when I go to Boots
Right.
and I'm just testing out different fragrances? It's implying that they're going to release a fragrance, but it's never said.
This was done entirely for the show, wasn't it?
I think so.
Because I feel like aluminum fragrances really got like a sign. It got a sign mention outside on the street. It got that man saying home of the most luxurious fragrances in the world as well. I feel like this was a real PL Peter Lorraine hookup.
He's been busy in those emails, hasn't he? I have to say that Rochelle is wearing her specs. She means business.
Yes, Molly's in a fun tropical trouser. I noted that. Now, I don't know if you've seen any of the screwball comedies of the 50s, you know, His Girl Friday, anything with Cary Grant and, you know, just a secretary skittering down and them being like, hey, what are you saying? What are you doing? I love a bit of screwball comedy, and let me tell you, this scene, they could have given Cary Grant and Ava Gardner a run for their money. Because, I tell you what, those girls can't decide on anything.
No, it's going to be... The rate we're going, this perfume's never going to come out. And then I wrote, I don't think it did.
And what made me laugh about this is that the screwball comedy is meant to be, oh, these guys can't decide on anything, and this poor man keeps trying to talk. But the stuff they were saying was so banal and funny. This is nice.
That
Oh,
smells quite good, actually.
quite fruity.
Like this one.
Not for me.
No, this one.
There wasn't one bit of tension. There wasn't one disagreement. It was just the Sats doing what they do best.
There was a great moment where Rochelle's holding up 10 of those tiny little bit of fragrance papers,
Yes.
you get in duty free, and she's smelling all of them at once. Rochelle, it's going to smell like all the scents.
Did you notice that the e-ticker at the bottom
Yes.
gave us another Josh Duhamel update?
Yeah. Fergie and Josh Duhamel expecting a baby. Fergie the Black Eyed Peas, 2013 breaking news.
I was like 2 episodes in a week with Josh Duhamel knows. He was really a hot ticket.
Yeah.
I think he still is. I think he's very attractive. Did you ever see that terrible movie with him and Kate Bosworth that was called Win a Date with Tad Hamilton?
I remember, I never saw it.
She plays this southern country gal that works in a supermarket, the Piggly Wiggly, and she wins a contest to go on a date with Tad Hamilton, who's an LA movie star, and they fall in love.
I'm Tad.
I can't believe you're here.
I want some of that goodness to rub off on me.
He wants your goodness to rub off on him. He wants your butt to rub off on him.
Rosie, I love you.
Tad Hamilton is an actor. How do you know that he's not acting with you?
Tad Hamilton.
I think it also stars not Tobey Maguire. What's he called? Topher Grace.
Tobey Maguire, okay.
No, not Tobey Maguire. Topher Grace.
But speaking of Tobey Maguire, what happened to Tobey Maguire?
He was in the last Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, but
I mean, it was more of a cameo, but
Yeah.
I feel like he's just like got loads of money from being Tobey Maguire, and he's not worried about it. Seabiscuit, that's keeping him in dollars. Is he in Seabiscuit? I just clutched at that one. Well, first of all, Una gets up because she has to make a phone call to Ben, and
gotta go check in Ben's leg and scans his injury.
and Vanessa says, yeah, the only kind of salient point in this entire scene where she says, I've got to get out of here. If I don't get out of here, I'm going to throw up. And I think what she's doing is getting kind of overwhelmed like you would in a Lush.
Oh, this whole scene, I was thinking of Lush.
Nothing stinks more than a Lush. So I'm with Vanessa on this. And, she leaves the scene and the episode.
Oh my god, the US equivalent of Lush is Bath and Body Works.
Well, they have Lush here too.
No, but
But nothing stinks worse than a Bath and Body Works.
Yeah.
And don't get me started on that one in Vegas in the fucking... What hotel was it in? Oh, God. The one with the Atlantis-themed fountain.
Caesar's.
Caesar's Palace, that's it.
what was the
Hell.
shower gel I got? Miami Heat, Miami Glow, Miami...
Oh, God. That was disgusting.
It was like a blue shower gel that we all used. Thank you.
We did.
Okay, where are we going next?
Well, oh, no, we haven't finished yet.
What?
At this point, the only ones left are Frankie and Molly, and I think
yes.
Rochelle. And Frankie very clunkily says, "Oh, Rochelle, guess what? I heard from Calvin the other day." And then we get a little bit of backstory: is that Calvin was a member of S Club Juniors, the band that Rochelle and Frankie were in before they were in the Saturdays together, and he was one of the bandmates. Now, I was intrigued at this point because I do remember thinking, I wonder if Calvin grew up to be good looking, because he was a good looking young man at the time. And can I say that? And so I was like, oh, I'm intrigued. And I do remember we saw a bit of a brief flash of him in the last episode, but I was excited at this point.
Did you go on his Instagram?
No, I didn't. Did you?
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty odd.
Okay. Well, at this point, they're like, oh, he's to be in town. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. And Frankie says, oh, well, Molly, you used to fancy him when you were 12, didn't you? Like, maybe you should come and have lunch with the two of us. Like, and then I just wrote, Molly is doing some great object work at the end of this scene, like a really good actress. She had this perfume bottle in her hand and she kept smelling it as she was talking to them. I was like, she knows how, some people don't know what to do with their hands on camera. Mm-hmm. Molly, she did great object and space work.
She's working out that deal with aluminum very well.
Yeah.
So Molly's going to tag along to Frankie's lunch with Calvin. We also get another quick succession of shots of Great Britain. We get the London Eye, we get Big Ben, and then we get a bleak high street with a tandoori
The
restaurant.
Raj Tandoori restaurant. There's magic just outside of the city. It feels like a Raj Tandoori. Get a papadum, get a naan bread, and some vindaloo.
Feels like somebody else's spice.
So we're going to be going house hunting, clearly in like Buckinghamshire or Berkshire or one of the shears outside of London with Marv and Roche.
Yeah.
Who are they going to meet?
Oh, is it the realtor, the real estate agent?
Well, it's Andrew, and he's called on screen real estate broker. Now that's for the American audience. He's an estate agent.
Andy,
Andy, the estate agent.
All right, Andy, do us a deal.
Yeah. Andy, so yeah, actually, this TV company, they want to film with a couple of, I don't know, like,
Yeah, do that.
It's one of the members of Girls Aloud.
Yeah,
and,
do it for a
and
couple
Boys
of
Zone.
bob,
I think,
couple of
yeah.
bob.
Someone from Girls Aloud and Boys Zone
Yeah.
want to look at a house, and do you want to sell it to them? And he's like, oh yeah, I'll do it. I'll
Get
do
the
it.
keys. Get the keys. Hop in the van.
What's going on with this house? Let's talk about the exterior festival, shall we?
Brick.
So much brick.
So much brick.
Two very artificial looking plants outside the front door on either side. Did you notice them? Almost like topiary, like little balls of topiary that looked completely fake.
Almost like they're made of Lego.
Completely. They were. I do think they were made of Lego. I think this whole house is made of Lego. So they walk in. As they walk in, you just hear Rochelle say, oh, they seem to have done it up nice.
Done it up.
Done it up.
Nice. Now there's a bar counter in the kitchen, which is quite odd.
And a chandelier in the kitchen.
Chandeliers. And then my only other major thing I noticed was lilac velvet furniture that was studded with diamantes.
Yeah. It's a giant throne. It's the only note I made as well was the giant throne chair with studded diamante kind of crystals in it. And you just hear this voiceover of Marvin going, this is nice. This is wicked.
Wicked.
I was like, oh yeah, wicked. And during this scene, there was some incidental music happening that had literally the sounds of someone blowing a hairdryer. Like, I thought someone was blowing a hairdryer, like, in the apartment next door to me. And I paused it and rewound it, and it was in the, like, baked into the music. It truly was like music, but then, like, someone going... Really weird.
Strange.
Maybe it's whoever uploaded it to Vimeo was drying their hair at the time.
Yeah, I think so.
Now, what? There's magic in what city next?
Well, we're going to the Northampton Rugby Football Club. Now, does that make sense?
No, see, this is where I knew we were going to be the blind leading the blind, because I was like going to say to you, is that really what you call it, or is that, or are we being you know what, F words?
Wait a minute,
P
Northampton, Hampton. But I just like it's a rugby club or a football club. It can't
Right.
be both.
Right.
Northampton.
I don't feel like you can take the rugby posts out and put goalposts in.
Oh no! Wait a
Maybe
minute.
you can.
Wait a minute. Northampton Rugby Football Club.
Oh, okay.
No, that's not a thing. No, it can't be both.
It was just, maybe it was the American execs not knowing that
What
rugby
rugby was.
is not football.
Yes, and they're like, well, we can't just call it rugby. We'll just put in football.
So this is where we meet another shining star, a real vessel of charisma, Matt the physio.
Matt the physio.
One of the flattest people I've ever seen in my life.
So Una's there, and Ben is lying almost like on a gurney or something. I don't know. His legs and arms are out, and I've just wrote.
What did you wrote?
I wrote Ben's got great legs and arms.
Yeah, he's sexy.
He's just a. It was like a
Beef.
steak
Beef
that's just
steak.
been dropped onto a gurney.
Yeah. And at this point, Matt, really crackles on screen because Ben introduces him to baby girl Aoife Bell, and he looks her directly in the eye and says, "You all right?" Like, hey, sometimes people say you have to communicate with children as if they're grown-ups and they like it. So I guess Matt the physio was just going down to that level, I guess.
Matt the physio says that Ben's had his MRI, and they've discovered he's got ruptured ligaments on the outside of his ankle. He's going to need to see a surgeon, and he's going to have 10 to 12 weeks off. It's essentially the rest of the season. The main note was until Christmas.
Yeah.
Because everything in the UK revolves around, is that going to be before Christmas? After? Is it going to just after? During? Wait, got to be before Christmas? Until Christmas.
And then Una does a good "You're Welcome America" for us, where she says he's going to miss the Autumn International, which is like missing the Super Bowl. I thought, thanks, Una. It's like, I don't think it is. Maybe of rugby she should have put in there.
Yeah.
Should have been a caveat of that.
The Super Bowl of football rugby.
At this point, charismatic Matt says, "Let's crack on with getting the swelling down." And then, did you see the shot of Una while he was getting his ankle like squeezed?
And what was she doing?
She had a huge smile on her face.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, like a truly like Machiavellian grin. I don't know if maybe she was just nervous and didn't know what to do, but he was having his like ruptured ankle like basically squeezed because they were trying to like squeeze all the swelling out of it, I guess.
All the
And
fluids.
she was just looking at it and smiling, and I was like, uh-oh.
I've just written here, strange sexual moaning massage.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed some of that.
No.
Well, we're not done with Una and Ben yet, are we? Because we've got to trip over to somewhere else.
We're going to go to the Fox and the Hounds pub. I think there's some wicker chairs waiting for us that we need to sit down on.
I know. I wanted to look on initial viewing. I really thought this was a very specific Weatherspoons pub in London that's not far from. It's like kind of between Brixton like kind of moving south from Brixton. There's this really like gorgeous Weatherspoons on this like hill that's kind of hidden away, and like it looks like you feel like you're in the countryside when you're at this like weird Weatherspoons on a hill. I thought that was the Fox and Hounds, but then I realized we must still be in Northampton, so it was really null and void, wasn't it? So there's lots of pints and small glasses of Diet Coke on the table. He's drinking a pint, she's drinking a half.
Una says that she's glad to be back, and then Una says, it's hard, but Ben says it's going to be harder for me because I've got nothing to do.
I'm going to say something about this scene. There was some strange editing happening in this scene, and I think that the one big thing we've seen of the whole season so far is that part where she says, I've got to go back to LA in a week and I feel really bad, I don't know what to do. And he goes, well, don't go. Now, watching it in full, it looked like he was about to start laughing and say something else. And then they cut to her, and it was definitely not a cutaway of her in that exact moment because I think she was laughing. I think this was really like...
Oh, okay.
Because I don't...
So now that we've seen his legs and his arms, you're a Ben apologist.
Well, I have kind of been from the start because I find him attractive. But no, I just think that this was definitely some jiggery pokery.
Jiggery pokery.
Like, for sure.
Okay, I actually did see that, but I'm just so angry at him.
You're ready to...
And when he said, don't go then, I wrote here in all capitals, go Una! And then I wrote, just because his career is going to shit doesn't mean hers has to as well.
That's true. Well, I still will always support women. It doesn't matter if someone's a huge beefsteak. I'll still have to go with the woman. Damn it. God damn it, these principles. Anyway.
We're going to go look at more...
There's magic in this new build. Lots of bricks and lead-paned windows.
Living life on an expensive estate. So we're going to go look at more bricky houses. Now, my first note about this one was... These houses, they're very close to one another. New build homes that are essentially, to use a UK measurement, they're like a meter away from each other.
Yeah, you're really in your neighbour's business.
Yeah. Can't have that here in LA.
No.
Because it's got to be like 5 feet from your what's it called? Your fence. Depending on zoning. Do you want me to talk more about zoning?
Rochelle's in her glasses. I think this is the clip from last week. I think we were, speaking of the old jiggery pokery, we were shown this as a flashback of them looking at a house, even though it was happening now in the future, which is the present.
They're all new built houses, so one and the same.
I think this is the same house from earlier in the episode, and that they just like reversed the shot or something, because I don't believe for a second this is even a different house.
I know, they're all the same.
I feel like they just had a change of clothes and said, hey, Marv, Roche.
Although, no, this one does have that kitchen with the black shiny countertop.
Well, that's true. Oh, no, hang on. No, that's the next one.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry.
Maybe. And actually,
wait,
there's a
is
different...
this the one with the conservatory looking out into the bricky garden?
Yeah, and there is a different estate agent, so maybe it's not the exact same house.
okay.
Or maybe they just got a couple of extras in to play the estate agents
And this
that
one's
day.
got bars on windows and the Juliet balcony?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that garden with its like lines mowed into the lawn and all that brick. It was just so UK, wasn't it?
Even they were like,
A
oh.
little too much brick for us. And then we have, and I said, poor old Andrew. Oh, it was Andrew, the same estate agent for this one.
Was it?
And we got a shot at the side saying this place was called Claremont House. And I said, poor old Andrew, Claremont House ain't selling, is it?
Oh.
And we get a wonderful button to this scene is Rochelle's kind of saying, oh, I'm just not really feeling it. And then her and Marvin in unison say, it's just not cozy, is it? And then we zoom out and we hear her, Marvin, and Andrew, the estate agent, all together say, no, it's just not cozy. I was like, what's happening?
It's that black countertop in the bricky garden, not cozy.
It's not cozy.
Those black countertops, they are so of a time.
Yeah.
And they get kind of water stains on them, like those slightly white water
Yeah,
stains.
you're going to get a lot of drink rings on that.
Ooh. What are we doing next?
We're going to go to a permanently closed restaurant in Trafalgar Square, a modern Scottish restaurant with Trafalgar Square views and a vaulted cellar cocktail bar called, say it for me, in Scottish.
The Albanach. the Albanach pub. And that is Gaelic for Scottish.
Oh, well, there you go. So it's literally called Scottish.
Yes. The Scottish pub. Permanently closed in 2016.
Yeah, permanently closed. And
so Molly's wearing a lovely, cozy, olive-coloured knit. I've written. What have you written?
I wrote, I really like Molly's off-the-shoulder olive knit. It's
We both basically wrote the same thing.
The exact same thing.
God.
And oh dear, Molly's been, to use a real UK term, stitched up here, hasn't she? She meets Calvin looking kind of incredibly dewy and I'd say actually maybe by the end of this scene both of them are sweating actually, and it's not dewy. They're both just sweating with uncomfortableness.
He also looks like a boy.
Yes, yeah. It's weird because he aged, but kind of looks exactly like he did in S Club Juniors. Does he still look like that now?
No.
Okay. Have you seen the actually we saw the two gay members of S Club Juniors DJing at a gay night in London. Remember?
Yes.
That weird pop night in the like under some bridge arches.
And they played the Selena thruple. That was the night they played 3 Selena Gomez songs.
Yes. And
that night was called like We Love Pop or something.
Yeah, and I think they played a Holly Valance song, State of Mind, which is like they like the song that would never be played outside of anywhere.
No.
Apart from our brains.
Calvin, he lives in LA. He speaks slightly like he went to boarding school.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And they're having a very stilted conversation, which I felt was quite real.
Yeah.
Lots of, again, Molly doing a lot of space work, lots of water being poured and glasses being lifted, and
also they're like, Molly's like, we don't have anything to talk about. I'm like, yes, you're both pop stars,
right,
and you both know Frankie.
Yeah, you
just
actually
get on
have.
with it.
Yeah, I was like, you actually have a lot to talk about.
And also, he lives in LA, and you've just been staying in LA.
And also, I don't believe for a second that Molly is ever stuck for something to say. Remember that great scene where she was talking about how there was too much onion in her salad to those two strangers, too much garlic. Yeah. She could talk about anything.
Talk about anything.
That's Molly. That's Molly King.
Oh, Molly King, and it's Calvin Goldspink.
Yeah.
What a name.
So Molly calls up Frank, as she calls her, to find out where she is. And we get, throughout this whole scene, essentially like Big Top Circus clown music is playing. It's literally like bum, ba da ba da bum, honk, honk, wee! Like just crazy like clown music is playing. And she says, oh, I think Frankie's trying to set us up. And he says, that's absurd. And then we smash cut to break. I was like, oh my God, Calvin's angry. I honestly thought that was the end of the scene, though, didn't you?
Wish it had been. We go back to the almanac.
So we're back again, and Molly they kind of repeat a little bit of what we've seen, which is very American TV. And when she's leaving Frankie a message, she calls her Bibby. You notice that? She's like, hello, Bibby. Everything was very off about this scene. If you told me that this scene had been filmed like a year ago and added onto the show without anyone knowing, I'd believe that. Like, everything about it was strange.
Almanac's still closed. Yeah, it essentially ended with Calvin saying that when it comes to dating guys, we just want to,
Yeah, and then Molly just ends. She goes, right. And it just does more object work with her water. At this point, she was like juggling.
She's got that. She's got
wearing like a moustache and false glasses.
She's got a glass bottle of like Strathmore water.
Yeah, she's like miming that she's stuck inside a box. Well, I'll tell you what, we're in that Addison Lee again. Rochelle's inexplicably dressed like a 20s flapper from like the kind of waist up.
She's wearing a bucket hat.
Yeah, she's wearing a flapper style bucket hat and what essentially looks like a fur coat, which you realise when she gets out of the car is like a fur gilet.
Oh, a gillet.
But when she's in the car, she truly looks like she's in like Bugsy Malone. It's a really wild look.
I did look at the scene and thought, oh, it looks cold.
So they're seeing the last house that they're able to see.
Yeah. And it's a brick house, but it's more of like a 1930s brick house. It's much nicer.
Yes, this is definitely the best one so far.
Yeah.
We meet Ken, the liar that's trying to sell them on this house. He describes the kitchen as American walnut with lovely glass countertops. Glass countertops.
What?
Glass countertops.
That doesn't make sense.
Ben, I'm going to just repeat it one more time for you. Glass countertops. Does that just mean you literally have like just glass on the top of it? The whole of your kitchen is just glass. What's underneath it?
No, but
what can you see through to see it?
No, but he says it's American walnut.
Yeah, the wood is American walnut, and then he says glass countertops.
So what? So all like the cupboards and everything are wood.
No, the countertops are just glass.
Yeah.
But like not like you can't just have a kitchen made of glass. That's
no, but
crazy.
It's just the counter that's made of glass. Like the cupboards on all the sides are made of the American
Yes,
walnuts.
I know that.
Yes.
But I just think I thought countertops weren't ever made of glass. I thought they were
No, I
made
don't
of
think
like
so.
marble or wood or plastic. They're not made of just glass.
No, I don't think so. You're
Okay,
right.
good. I didn't think that the wood I was looking at was glass that was painted brown. I could see that. Don't make me out to be the fool. Ken was the liar here,
Okay,
not
Ken's
me.
the liar. In this house, they've got a formal drawing room. Chill out.
Yeah.
Formal drawing room.
Well, they also still had that LED thing on the windows as well. So I was like, don't try and give me a formal drawing room when you've got that.
Oh, but I forgive it in this 1930s house, that lead cross hatching, because it's kind of fitting. Those windows might be original.
There's a piano in that room.
Oh, well, Marvel used that.
Yeah.
There's magic in this city.
What's the
Tickling the Ivories?
What's the song, the Sound of Music one? The club is alive with the sound of music. Tickle, 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 tickle.
Rum. Tell you what, between that and Una's guitar, quite a night.
So they see the home gym. Did you see the giant radiator in the home gym? I think it was a radiator. It was a metal radiator that went from floor to ceiling.
Oh.
And I thought, what better when you're working out than a giant metal radiator pumping out heat?
And Rochelle says, and I believe her, she says, oh, I hate the gym.
Yeah.
We've got primary bedroom with gross built-ins.
Those wardrobes. There's nothing like seeing all of your shit in the wardrobe through glass.
Yeah.
Nothing to make you more anxious than laying in bed and seeing all of your belongings.
But just like a hint of your bond, because it's through like frosted
Kind
glass.
of opaque, yes.
Yeah.
And then did you see that the bathroom was off the side through like a sliding opaque door?
Oh.
So I was like, I think you'd be able to see an outline of someone taking a shit.
Yeah, I know, but it's just Molly. It's just Marvin and Rush in there.
I don't care if it's me and my husband. I don't want frosted glass while I'm trying to do my business in the bathroom. I'd like an industrial steel door for a bathroom for me.
But have you ever stayed in a hotel? Because it's very much a thing.
And I don't like those things where you can
sliding
see
doors.
people taking a shit
All right.
or having a shower.
All
Have you ever
right.
stayed in one of those ones where you can literally see into the shower from the bed?
Yeah.
Those ones are weird. I guess maybe it's because I'm always either by myself or sharing a room with a friend.
There were sparkly scatter cushions
Yeah.
on the beds.
And a lot of beige furniture.
So
Those side
Rochelle has
tables.
grand plans for this. She wants a second sink in the kitchen. It already in my head I'm thinking, well, that's going to need extra plumbing.
Yeah.
She
Can't
wants to
just
change
have
the
a sink.
fireplace in the back room. She wants the second lounge to become the dining room. She wants to knock through the bedroom wall to create a dressing room and change the gym into a nursery.
So this is a lot like when Roche went crazy in LA and started trying to buy furniture for a new house all in one go.
Yes.
She's just like, when she's got no time left, she just says, we have to do it and we're doing it now.
Yeah.
So she's basically like, let's take it, even though I don't like anything about it.
But Marv is saying, when we go into a place, it has to feel perfect. No, it doesn't, Marv.
No, and she's got enough money and so will he eventually. They've got enough money between the two of them to make those changes pretty easily.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of thought to myself, well, if that's the case, what was the point of any of this? But I don't want to stop pulling at that thread.
And then as they're walking through that slidey glass door to go into the bathroom to look at it, he accidentally knocks his arm or something, and then she says, "You just hit me. That's karma." Like him knocking onto the door. Karma, it's the second time karma's been mentioned in this season.
It's the second time someone has injured themselves and
then
had
someone's
karma
been like, that's
mentioned.
karma.
So we're going to fly on up to somewhere, Northampton, London, who knows, because Una's going to be picking Ben up from hospital. Now, any American listeners that have come this far, just know in the UK, you don't go to the hospital, you go to hospital.
Go to hospital. What?
Yeah, that's a really British thing to say, oh, she's in hospital.
She's in hospital. Yeah, you need to go
They,
to the
you ha-
hospital. You need
they
to go
say
to
the
hospital.
here. They will say she's in the hospital.
Yeah,
You've got to go to the hospital.
Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, he's not well because he's currently in the hospital. He's currently in hospital.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go to the hospital.
Queen is in hospital. They literally
See, I
is
would
what they
say
say.
go to the hospital, but I'd
That's
say
'cause you-
someone's in hospital.
Well, that's because you've lived here too long. Your brain's warped. You can't remember.
She's in hospital. All right, she's in hospital.
Exactly.
All right. So Ben's been in hospital. He's had surgery, and I've just written here that getting filmed by a camera crew after you've come out of an operation, that's the worst.
Una says, that was quite long, wasn't it?
The surgeon said it was the best work he's ever done.
Oh, God. This scene is one of 4 scenes in this episode that's exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's just Una and Ben at different locations and her saying, well, I feel really guilty leaving you. I feel really guilty. And him going, oh, no, I'll be all right. I'll be okay. Yeah, I'll just be fine.
Best he's ever done.
Oh, yeah, best he's ever
physio,
done.
Matt the physio. You're all right.
Oh, I feel bad leaving you, Ben. I really do. I feel bad leaving you again. Gotta go to LA.
So, we are going to go for drinks. Frankie and Molly. We're going to a place called the Lonsdale. Couldn't find it online.
I said, like the brand, like the sportswear brand.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, maybe it was an outpost of the sportswear brand. They had a brasserie for a while. The Lonsdale Sportswear Brasserie.
That'd be. Oh, and maybe they've got decorating the wall like rackets and things.
I feel like Lonsdale was like boxing. Do you remember? It was like a very boxing gloves were Lonsdale. I think. I feel like I had a Lonsdale.
I think
article of something
from Sports Direct. I got a few Lonsdale vests I would wear to work out in.
I think so too.
So this scene opens and Frankie's yammering on about having braces.
Yeah, how she wants to get them again. Now, I'm a 2 times brace wearer, so I can't criticize her too much. I've had them twice, once as a teenager and once as a 35-year-old. So
her teeth are perfect.
Yeah, she's a fool, but she's a gorgeous fool.
So Molly, that trickster, she decides to play a little game.
Well, we know she's an actress from all of her space and mime and clown work she's done in this episode.
And also that American accent when she went to Pomona. So she's telling Frankie, it went really well with Calvin. Like, really well. I could marry him. I could see kids, everything. And Frankie's like, what? Wait, what?
And again, they bring that clown music back in. It's literally like... And
Molly's like, I'm joking. It was awful. And Frankie says, oh, I'm really sorry, friend. They love calling each other friends.
Frank and friend and baby.
Frankenstein.
I said, what a shit scene.
But did you notice what they're eating?
No, I didn't.
So I noticed Molly, she seems to be eating a steak that's got a little jug of sauce. A little like poivre.
A little béarnaise.
Yeah. She's going to just drizzle onto it. So, final scene. We're in Una's gaff.
We are. Speaking of lead-paned windows, we're back in the original.
Well, yeah, because we get a nighttime shot through the cross-hatched lead windows.
Yeah.
Like zooming in.
There's some kind of vase filled with maybe dried flowers or maybe corks behind Una, I noticed.
Corks.
Well, you know how I can imagine them being like, every wedding and function we've been to, I keep the cork. And then puts them in like a cork. That's the kind of weird thing straight people do, isn't it?
Yeah.
A cork jug.
I know a version of that I'll tell you off air.
Yeah, I feel like, as I'm saying it, I feel like I've seen a cork jug in one of my friends' houses. So
What about
if you're the person with the cork jug, I do apologize.
What about the cork from the bottle of champagne we drank after we got engaged and we have it framed, one of those really thick frames?
Oh yeah, maybe with like a picture of the engagement announcement or something.
Well, that's good.
Gorgeous. Or maybe with a line of like a poem about
engagement
love.
Announcement. What, like in the paper?
Yeah, in the Times.
Oh my god.
That's actually pretty classy. What are they talking about in this fucking scene?
Okay. So Ben says he gets to sit in his arse for a few weeks. I've written here Ben's got good teeth. He's very well lit in this scene.
All we're ever doing is talking around how attracted we are to Ben because he's not nice.
And then I wrote, baby girl Aoife Bell is going to be a gorgeous child with these 2 parents.
She's just flopped on his chest, completely asleep, still with her coat on.
Oh.
Una says, now you better be doing your washing. I don't want to come home to a big pile of washing to do. I was like, okay. She's not wrong.
Yeah. And then it ends with Una saying, maybe I should stay with you. To be continued.
Yeah, to be fucking continued. Can you believe it?
And I just wrote, yeah, right.
Wow. Nice try chasing the sats. I don't think so.
So, episode hashtags, I've got 2 I'm going to pitch to you.
Hashtag new build.
Hashtag brick built blighty. And my other hashtag, where's Vanessa?
Well, I'm always going to support that one.
Okay.
Hashtag where's Vanessa?
Vanessa. Right, what are we rating this episode?
Okay, we are rating this episode out of Lamar Odoms.
Oh.
I'm giving this episode 4 out of 5 Lamar Odoms.
Me too.
I felt like, despite being lied to about the Una and Ben storyline, which was kind of my least interesting part of this, everything else, the amount of new builds that we got to see, all those details, I enjoyed Frankenstein and Molly. They were fun.
The shot of the tandoori, we got that
the Raj
bus.
Tandoori. Yeah, exactly. We both looked up 2 separate bus routes in London. Like, I feel pretty catered to by this episode.
I feel quite nourished.
Yeah, we looked up 5 different closed down establishments that they went to in London. That made me happy.
It made me realise that the Saturdays only make sense in the UK.
1,000,000,000%. It's why this has been so jarring to watch this show, because it's just been like just them in blinding sunshine of downtown LA. It's just not making any sense.
Yeah. Well, that's it.
Our gals. How many more episodes have we got of this shit?
Oh my
3
God.
more?
No, we've got
4
4
more.
more.
What
4
the
more.
fuck are they going to do for the rest of this show?
Well, no wonder we've got this cliffhanger. We're going to find Vanessa. That's what we're going to do in the next episode.
I know. I hope we get, like, what do they call it in a sitcom or a TV show when it's one location for like a whole episode? A bottle episode.
Oh.
I'd love if we got a Vanessa bottle episode. Just a whole episode of just her in one location.
Is she on that bus, just going around London?
I'd happily do like a whole thing where we follow her. Maybe it's a whole extra London episode and it's her like at home with her friends. I'd happily follow her like getting ready for a night out, going on one, getting like cheesy chips and eating them in the taxi on the way home.
And then the hangover next morning.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. I'm hoping that's what episode 7 is, just a full Vanessa night out in Yeovil, Somerset with her friends.
I am.
There's magic in this
Yeovil
town.
in this hamlet. So thank you for listening. You get an episode of Your Welcome America Presents Chasing the Saturdays every week.
Yeah, we've got a UR Prime coming this Wednesday. I'm saying that so I can edit in a different day if I haven't done it in time.
You get that. You get those prime episodes every 2 weeks. And we've already announced, I'm going to say it again, but we are committed. Our next spin-off is going to be Your Welcome America Presents The Ashley Simpson Show.
Baby, just ask me.
You're welcome.
You are right up my street.
Oh, you can't make me choose.
I go by Toyota. Sponsors T4.
Fuck me, Lee Ryan's 13.
I remember we couldn't remember the word for table.